All right. What's up, Wolfden? Let me know that you're here. Drop a like. Hit the button. Let me know in the chat that you're listening, because I never know. There we go. Thank you. Cool. So let's talk about. Let me fix this so it looks good on your screen. Doo-doo-doo. All right. There we go. So we're still talking about the base case, and we're going to talk about the foundation. Okay. And again, let me know when you get in here. It helps. It's helpful for me. We're going to talk about the foundation, because this is a question that people are asking. I just want to show you how simple it is. And most people have this bias towards positive action, thinking like everybody wants to be an investor, right? I want to like just make money passively, and then you don't let yourselves do it. Like, you could just go take a nap and you would make money, but you want to come and push buttons instead. And it causes a lot of stress and anxiety, and that's okay. Just know that about yourself. Okay? Yeah, let me know that you can hear me. I want to make sure that my audio is working, so somebody just drop in the chat before I keep rolling. So base case, okay? We're going to talk about the foundation. Now remember, none of this is financial advice. We're just sharing what we're doing. I'm sharing what I think. I'm sharing what my opinion on things. Use your own discretion. Discern for yourself what you should do. Be a responsible human. That's the name of the game. All right? I'm going to just double check my audio because nobody's letting me know. Okay, cool. Thank you. So we cap the 3 C's, and I'm going to say this over and over and over, that we need clarity before we can have certainty, and we need certainty before we can collapse time. We have to know where we're going. We have to know that the path is the right path, and then we can move faster. Otherwise, we move faster in the wrong direction. Right? So yesterday, we also talked about the golden goose. You don't kill your golden goose. I mean, you can if you want, but understand the ramifications. Right? You want your golden goose to keep laying golden eggs. Don't kill the thing. So hit that yesterday. Go back, watch yesterday's video on the base case. Really, really important, powerful video. And I broke down our base case, which is our base. This is our golden goose, right? Which produces an asset. This is like if our golden goose laid an egg, a golden egg, and then that golden egg, like, spit out a silver egg, right? And that silver egg spit out money. And with that money, we could buy what we want. So it's all about keeping the golden goose alive and healthy and fattened up to the right amount, right? Because at some point, we may have to take these assets and feed the goose with it. So we need to know how much. How much do we feed the goose? Okay, how much do we strengthen our base? And the answer is always it depends. And we're going to focus on the space right here. The first step, and everybody needs to understand that the way you win is you just do this. So I made the mistake of showing this early. And what's happening is, like, 3 days in, people are trying to get all the way to the end. And you need to strengthen your base for a couple days, a week, maybe a month. Right? Like, that's how the real world works. You don't just go from start to finish in 3 days. So we're going to back up a little bit, and we're going to focus right here on the base and potentially the golden egg, okay? The asset that is produced. And I'll tell you why potentially in a minute, but this is what everybody should be working right now. Unless you are spitting out hundreds of dollars a day in yield, you really got to be focused on the base. Don't stretch yourself too thin, right? And you got to understand preference versus binary. This is the number one thing I want all of our Wolfden members to know. If you're not in the Wolfden, I don't care if you listen to me or pay attention to this at all. And if you are in the Wolfden, you still don't have to, but I'm going to do my best to be helpful. Preference versus binary. We are wired, for whatever reason, we are wired for the right answer, and there is not always a right answer. What I mean is, I could say, hey, Anne, happy Tuesday to you too. I could say, hey, Anne, is mayonnaise good or bad? And she could say, it's bad, it's gross, I hate it. And I could say, hey, crypto stew, is mayonnaise good or bad? You say, it's good, I love it. And guess what? They're both right. That's a preference-based opinion, decision, or strategy, right? And so oftentimes we're saying, how much should I yield here? Or what should I do here? And you got to understand that's a preference-based thing. You have to use your personal and economic principles to determine what is appropriate for you. So binary, 2 plus 2 equals 4. Preference, should I have 4? Right? Does that make sense? Let me know in the chat here, because a lot of people think there's a right way to do this, and most things in life are preference-based. If you cannot Google an answer that would be true for everybody, it's preference-based. Okay? Should I hire an assistant or should I hire a nanny because I need more time back? It depends. Do you want more time at work or do you want more time with your kids? Either answer could be correct for you. So what's the first hire you should make in your business? That is not a binary question, and it should not have a binary answer. Hopefully that makes sense. Because I'm going to break down some stuff and show you how to navigate some of the preference-based stuff, right? Cool. Give me some thank you. So you have to realize a lot of this is preference-based. Should I sell all my banana? I don't know. What the hell are you trying to accomplish? Where are you at? You know, it's you have to align your strategy to your unique disposition or it will fail. All right. So in this case, when we're working the base case, here are the preference-based things we need to consider. Do we want less management and do we have less of an attention deficit? Okay? An attention deficit is the need for dopamine. You ever refresh Facebook trying to find notifications or like harvest your banana 13 times a day? That's a need for dopamine. You're actually strengthening your attention deficit. And that's okay, no judgment. If that's how you get your dopamine for the day, that's fine. But then you have to understand that you're going to be happier harvesting banana than another strategy that might make you more money, but doesn't give you the opportunity for the dopamine hit. Okay, so less management and attention deficit. That's extreme end of one preference. Everybody says, oh yeah, I want passive income. I don't want to do stuff all day, but then you watch them and their behavior suggests that they actually need a dopamine hit. They say their macro belief is I'll do whatever it takes to make more money, but their micro behaviors are I'm bored and I need to feel good about stuff. I have no judgment. I do not care as long as you are honest about it. You could say I have an attention deficit. I know I'm making less money, but I like harvesting banana all day. And I would say, cool, do what you like. Right? On the other end, there's more management with a higher attention deficit, right? A stronger attention deficit, which is what we just talked about. You rather click buttons all day, even if it's slightly less efficient or as efficient, but takes more time. And that's okay. That's a preference-based decision. You have the right, like, you can consider it, it's like playing video games, but I'm making money. And that's okay. That's okay. You don't have to maximize every dollar. You pay money to play video games, right? You pay money to go to the movies. You pay money to go to the fair. It's okay to do things for entertainment and have a bonus of making money. It is not okay to think you are being a sound investor when you are actually just trying to get your dopamine hit. Just align your beliefs and your behaviors. You're not going to lose if your behaviors are aligned. You will get wrecked and confused and sad and feel always behind when your behavior is not aligned with your beliefs. Okay, and then you want more banana. Do you want more optionality? Do you want more options, or do you want a stronger base? And I can tell you how I recommend you make that decision, but that's still a preference. You want to sleep all day while your assets compound themselves? You go into something that's auto-compounding. You want options and you want to move stuff around? You don't go into something that's auto-compounding. Because auto-compounding things need to be left alone for some amount of time. You will make more money passively, but you can't touch it. And if you want to touch it, right, you have to know that. So that's a preference base. It's not binary. It's not binary. Cool. All right. So here's our base case strategy. We got our base, which is our guard BNB LP. That will always be our base. And we have many, we have about 6 or 8 months of things we're rolling out to make sure it's the strongest base you will find anywhere else. Okay? We want to get that base to a minimum. What is that minimum? Glad you asked. I'll tell you in a second. Want to get our base to a minimum and then potentially yield banana, because that's our base case is sitting on that particular strategy. But let me show you some math. You guys want to see some math? Let me know in the comments that you want to see some math. Okay. Let's say that you want 25, I guess that's 2.5 million dollars in 10 years. Okay. You can adjust this however you want. $2.5 million in 10 years. You're going to contribute $162 a month to your machine. Right? But what if our base is $3,500? Oh, look at that. So if we have $3,500 of value in this base, okay, we don't have to add any more money. See how that makes sense? Or see what I'm doing here? Now, this is very, very conservative. This is 70%. We get well into the hundreds, multiple hundreds, the thousands next week. I'll explain that in a minute. Okay, so very conservatively, if we want $2,500, sorry, $2.5 million. Let me fix the screen so you can. That's going to make more sense for you guys. That's the Wolfden payment calculator. Okay. So if you want $2.5 million in 10 years, and we have a very, 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 very overly conservative 70%, you need to contribute $162. Right? But if your base sits at $3,500, you actually have an overage. You don't have to add additional fiat money to get $2.5 million in 10 years. So this is the minimum you want sitting in your base. Now, more is very useful. Let's say this is your minimum here. Okay. But how big do we need this base to cut this down to? And it's going to grow quite a bit here. Let's say 7 years. Right. So if we have this base and we add 1,000 a month, we're going to get that in 7 years. So we can play with this and figure out if I can get my base to 10,000. All right, 20,000. All right, you just play with it. And you're starting to collapse time. So if I get my base, that's the same as an upfront investment with this compounding interest. And I say, 2 million in 7 years would be pretty great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have an overage again. Make $2 million in 7 years if I get 20 grand into my base LP here. Right? So you can play with that because you should have this calculator if you're in the Wolfden. But that's how we can figure out, when do I need to keep growing my base? I just do that forever, or can I go further down the line? And sure, you can always go further down the line, but we can lock this stuff in, right? And if you don't have this 3,500, you only have, I don't know, let's say 2 BNB. What's that, $800? Yeah, $800, right? You only need to add $83 to your base every month. Cool. So that's how you know if you want to back into your goal in a timeline that's appropriate, very conservatively, you can figure out how much you need in your base right here. Okay. So how do you improve the base? And this is the base case. This is the argument that I would make in the simplest form, because we want it to feed itself as much as possible. Imagine your golden goose fed itself, right? You get banana, you sell the banana, and you get more LP. So you split it between Guardian and B&B, right? And you just do that until this base is a number that makes sense for your life, preference-based, not binary. It makes sense for you. You could want $500,000. That's a lot of money. That's more than some people will ever make in their life, right? Preference-based. And you just work this base until it is a number here that makes sense for your life. Right. Hopefully that makes sense. Now there's 3 options. There's 3 ways to do this. Okay? This has been the base because this is the easiest to teach. 3 options. It depends, and let me fix my screen again. There we go. It depends on what you want to do. Okay? You have to know yourself. This is why we talked about the attention deficit and all that stuff. Option 1 is just strengthen the base. You already have guard LP, right? Guard B&B LP. Now you can go to beefy.finance. Beefy.finance. And you see this right here. High APY, and it pays in more guard B&B LP. You don't have to see what it does. Beefy actually takes your LP, it buys banana for you, or it yields banana for you, it sells it, and it pairs it, and it just does that over and over and over. Okay? Now, the risk with this, even though logically this is by far the best decision, the risk is that you get bored. There's nothing to harvest, and you don't want to touch this often. It's compounding LP. Okay, so if you want to push buttons, this might not be the best. This is the best objectively. If we were talking binary, this would be the best option. But you gotta know yourself. Okay, so beefy.finance, and you go to assets. There's a drop-down menu. Go to guard B&B LP. You same LP. Use your ape swap LP. So you just take it out of the farm and put it in here. They use the ape swap farm, which yields banana. They sell the banana and they pair it, and they add a bonus, a multiplier. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. So that's option 1. That's passive, though. You can't sit here and click buttons and stare at it all day. It will not make you happy if you're trying to get a dopamine hit. Okay. Option 2 is optionality. So you go and guard B&B, and you get the banana. You can do whatever you want with that banana. So you have more options as to like getting your dopamine hit. You want to sell the banana, you want to stake it, you want to put it in the banana maximizer. I don't know, you want to put it in a pool, you want to, whatever you want to do. You just want to compound this yourself because you like doing it. That's the, that'll give you about the same APY as this, right? The difference is you have to do all of this yourself, but you do have more options because you have banana, which allows you to do other things, right? So it's less efficient. It's less efficient, but you have optionality. Okay, so your base can either go straight into Beefy Finance until it reaches the number that we deem appropriate for you, or you do it yourself, just like we have been. Okay? And I'll just keep putting it back, keep putting it back, keep putting it back until you reach that base number that will lock in what you want. And then you have banana. Do whatever you want with the banana. Right? Option 3 is an optimization of all the assets. So if you have your base, but you have additional guard, okay, so you have a bunch of guardian with you don't have the B&B to pair with it. The most efficient thing to do is pair your existing guard with B&B. Here is a way to do that I would recommend. I just walk somebody in Direwolf through this. We want to use all of these things together in an optimal way, right? So we split our aces. You can figure out the percentages. It's preference-based. It's preference-based. Don't blow up Discord saying, tell me exactly how much. That's not appropriate. We're giving you the tools, right? Put some guard B&B into the beefy LP, so it auto-compounds itself. It's going to compound much faster than if you do it yourself. Okay? And then you put the rest in APE. This guard B&B farm, an APE swap. Right? Again, don't stress out about how much. You could even start with just APE. That's fine. And you could put 100% into APE swap. And then what you're going to do, or what I recommend you do, is as this farm yields banana, I actually have their brand pack, and I was too lazy to use it. You're going to take this banana, all right? You're going to swap this banana for B&B, pair it with guard, and then put it into beefy, where it auto-compounds itself. Okay, so what we're doing is we are strategically pairing all of your lonely guard with B&B. Oh, again, if you have a bunch of guard that doesn't have B&B to pair, put your LP in APE. That's my recommendation. Put your LP in APE, sell the banana for B&B, pair it as an LP, and put it in right here into beefy, where it auto-compounds itself. Then when you run out of guard, spare guard, when it's all paired, I would personally swap it all into beefy or continue to split my aces so I have the optionality of banana. That's up to you. Okay? And that's how to set yourself up to lose. We talked about this yesterday. Kill the golden goose. Right now I'm showing you how to make the golden goose anti-fragile. Very, very strong golden goose. If you get impatient, you will blow up your beefy compounding, your beefy finance. The attention deficit, we talked about that. And the short time preference. If you have too short of a time preference, you should not go into beefy. It's a much better return, and it pays out in LP. You actually get more guard B&B LP. But there's just not a lot of buttons to push, and there's not a lot of bells and whistles. Right? So you have to know that. So just to recap. Let me go back here. Figure out this number, this upfront investment. If you need 30, let's say $3 million. $3 million in 9 years. $7,000 in my base, in my LP, will get me there. Right? And if you want to go, well, I want to get $60,000 in my LP. Like, cool. We can maybe get that down to 5 years? No, I'm not quite. 7? All right, now we're collapsing time. There we go. Right, hopefully that makes sense. Beefy Finance. Beefy Finance, we are live. We haven't announced it. I do not want to provide an outrageous amount of support for people that are impatient. If you need the dopamine hit and you're going to freak out about how do I do all this math and what is this and where is that, do not go into Beefy right now. Okay? We are not going to be hyper-focused on providing that support until Thursday. Now, on Thursday, there should be a multiplier. This APY will go up quite a bit. But do not get FOMO and jump in there and cause headaches for everybody, because I love you guys, but if we do something nice and share something and it wrecks our lives, we're going to stop doing nice things for people. Not because we're a-holes or anything, but these are things that we spend time and money and effort in sharing, and if what we get in return is we lose more time and lose more money and have to put more effort in, it's going to stop making sense. Okay, so use Beefy if you're comfortable with the fact that you're going to put it in there and like do nothing for a week. It's going to have a nice big multiplier. You can pull out your LP and put it back into Ape Swap if you want banana after that. But this is that's option 1. Option 2 is just stay the course, do whatever you want with your banana. Option 3 is split your aces, so that you can pair your existing guard with B and B. All right? So that is the base of the base case. If you have any questions, drop into the Wolfden. Again, I'm going to be helping Guardian tier and Direwolf tier with a lot of figuring out how they should split their aces. Okay, everybody else, just do the math, ask good questions. There's no wrong way to do this. Just pick a strategy and roll with it. No matter what, you're getting a huge return. Okay? The way you don't get a huge return is you blow up everybody else and you blow up yourself and you make too many moves. All right. You guys are awesome. Appreciate you. And Thursday, we'll have an announcement with Beefy. And Saturday, I'm doing a Ask Me Anything inside of the group. So I will invite all of you there.